my name is Paola and I am better known as the Tiny Italian across the social media world. I am very excited to be part of this week's Friday Night Cookery Club with Taste Film. Now when Amy asked me if I wanted to cook the meal out of Goodfellas, I literally jumped at the chance because it's one of my all-time favourite movies of all time, if not my favourite. The characters are great, the storylines are fantastic, the music's phenomenal, the fashion, wow, and then the food scenes blow my mind every single time. So today I'm going to show you how to cook a meal that comes up a couple of times throughout the movie. It's an Italian Sunday gravy, an American Italian meal that actually probably still gets eaten across the whole of America in Italian American households. It's essentially 2 meals in one. So you eat the tomato sauce with a lovely bowl of pasta, and then the meat that's cooked in the sauce then gets served with a bit of veg. So that's what I'm going to cook you today. In the movie, there's a scene where Henry, at the end, is coming towards the end, he's high as a kite, he's dealing drugs, he's dealing guns, he's paranoid the FBI are going to get him. But still, no matter what, he's at home cooking his Sunday lunch for his family, telling his brother strict instructions, do not let the sauce stick.
As soon as I got home, I started cooking. Had a few hours until Lois's flight. I told my brother to keep an eye on the stove. All day long, the poor guy's been watching helicopters and tomato sauce. You see, I had to drive over to Sandy's place, mix the stuff once, and then get back to the grill.
No matter if shit's going down, food is still important. Everyone's going to eat. So this is what I'm going to be showing you today. So let's get cooking. So before we start, let me just explain exactly what we're making. We're going to be cooking a beautiful, rich Italian tomato sauce cooked with sausages and meatballs. And then we'll be serving the sauce with some spaghetti, and then those meatballs and sausages will be served with a beautiful green beans and our olive oil garlic chili dressing. So first up we're going to make the meatballs. So what you need to do is grab 250 grams of beef mince, 250 grams of the pork mince. You're going to chuck in your breadcrumbs. You're going to also chuck in your 60 grams worth of grated parmesan. You've got some parsley that you've been chopped up, lovely and fine. Throw that in. And then I've got an egg. So I'm going to crack that egg into my bowl. Now, some of you might not want to do this, but I'm just going to go straight in with my hands. Mix all those ingredients together. Like so. Make sure that all the ingredients are well combined together to give us all the flavours that we want to get out of these little meatballs. And when you've mixed it like halfway through, then that's when I would season it. So, lovely pinch of salt. Grab some pepper. And then keep on mixing like this until all your ingredients are well incorporated. So when all your ingredients are well incorporated together, well seasoned, and you can start making little meatballs. Now I'm going to grab a little one here. Now I like to make mine in equal sizes, so they weigh exactly the same, they're about the same size. It just means that Mum's going to be fighting over the biggest meatball, do you know what I'm saying? So I've got some scales out here, and I'm going to make mine, each one 30 grams. Should be able to get out about 24 meatballs. Let's see how many we get. So there's one there. You kind of just like grab one in your hand like that. Give it a bit of a mix. That's 30. You just kind of roll it like that. It's just little balls. And there you go. And then just put them on a plate. And you do that until all your mixture's used up. Try and be as sexy as you can when you're making your meatballs. There you go, meatballs are ready. I actually got 22 out of them, not 24, but still plenty to go around, do you know what I mean? Lovely and even, so no one will be fighting over the biggest meatball, do you know what I'm saying? Right now, let's get started on our meat and sauce. Next step is we are going to brown our meat in our pan that we're going to cook our tomato sauce in. So I'm using this quite wide saucepan, but a large saucepan of any size will be absolutely fine. So I've already got my heat on. Grab your olive oil, give that actually open. There we go. Just generously add it to the bottom of your pan. When it's getting well coated, we're going to be frying our meat a little bit now. So, you can see I've got it kind of like well coated. I have to say, the soundtrack to this movie is phenomenal. So if any of you guys can find it, it's on Spotify. It's literally Goodfellas' original soundtrack in this tune. Right, so pan, my oil should be nice and hot. So now I'm going to add in my sausages. Oh yeah, can you hear that sizzle? Right. So we're going to brown them in here, just brown them, we don't want to cook them, just brown them. So like on a nice medium low heat, we're going to keep them turning. The sausages are browned like this, beautifully, just put them to one side, like that. Sausages are done, now we're going to quickly brown our meatballs. So, in the same pan, just gently, on a low heat, quickly brown your meatballs. You might have to do these in a couple of batches depending on the size of your pan, just so that they fry and not steam if they're too close together. I think that should be alright. What we want here with the meatballs, just like the sausages, we just want to get them nice and brown on the outside. So as soon as they start to get that brown tinge, just turn them over like this. Cook them for a couple of minutes on the other side, and then remove them from the pan. And then we're going to put them back in our sauce later on in the recipe. Right, our meatballs have finished frying, so just been browned. They're going to finish cooking in the sauce a little later on, so I'm just removing them out of the pan now. Got a little baby one there. Right, now that we've cooked our meat, now we're going to make the rest of our sauce now. Right, in here I've got that chopped onion and 2 chopped garlic cloves. So I'm going to add it in the pan. Pan's still on. It's got the lovely olive oil that was in there before and all the juices of the meat. So I'm just going to add that in there.
In prison, dinner was always a big thing. We had a pasta course, and then we had a meat or a fish. Paulie did the prep work. He was doing a year for contempt, and he had this wonderful system for doing the garlic. He used a razor, and he used to slice it so thin that it used to liquefy in the pan with just a little oil. It's a very good system.
Now, if you feel like you haven't got enough oil, you can add a little bit more extra olive oil in now. But I would just check the situation first. So what we want is that the oil and the garlic is well coated in the olive oil and meat juices. If you feel like you haven't got enough there and it looks like your onion and your garlic might burn, and add a little bit more. I'm going to add a smidge more, just a smidge, like that. And then it's always important to season your onions with a little bit of salt now. What that does, it stops the onions from burning and helps release the excess liquid that's in those onions and just makes them lovely and sweet. So for about 5-10 minutes, I just keep on stirring your onions and garlic in the lovely oil, in the lovely meat juices, until they have slightly softened. The onions and garlic I've been cooking for about, I think it's nearly 10 minutes now, and they're beautifully softened and it smells fantastic. So next we're going to do, we're going to add our 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So I'm just going to do it by the eye because I know, but if you grab a spoon, 2 tablespoons worth, there we go. Give that a good mix into your onions and garlic and cook that off for like a minute. Baby, 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 I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Oh my god, I love this tune. So next we're going to add in our tomatoes. You're either going to stick in 3 cans worth of peeled or chopped tomatoes, or you're going to use about 1.5 litres of passata, which is what I'm using. So I'm just going to pour that in now. So I'm using passata. If you're using peeled or chopped tomatoes, you may want to add a little bit more water just to kind of give it more of a loose consistency and make sure it doesn't dry out too much. When you've had your tomatoes in, you want to bring that to a light boil, and then we're going to bring it down to a simmer, and then we're going to cover it for about half an hour on its own and let it cook out that raw taste of tomatoes. We're also going to need to season our sauce now, so a generous amount of salt and some pepper. Right, half an hour's been up, so let's just check on our sauce. I gave it a few stirs during that time to make sure it doesn't get stuck. So now that it's been cooking for half an hour, now we're ready to add our meat in. So I'm going to grab my meatballs here and I'm going to just gently pop them in. Just let me use my, here we go. Beautiful. I cannot wait to eat this. I'm going to pop these all in here gently. Let them cook in that gorgeous tomato sauce.
Vinny was in charge of the tomato sauce.
Ah, got the smell. Got three kinds of meat in the meatballs. You've got veal, beef, and pork.
Ah, good, but you gotta have the pork.
Oh, that's the flavor.
I felt he used too many onions, but it was still a very good sauce.
So another half hour is now up. So, oh my days, right, you need to look at this. This is what's going on here. So, the meat has been cooking for long enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to remove our meatballs and sausages from our sauce and let that to warm up in the oven. And then we're going to let our sauce cook without the lid on for at least another 15-20 minutes while we cook our beans and cook our pasta. Absolutely delicious. It's also really important to stay at this point. You've got to make sure that you're turning that tomato sauce whenever you can. I know we're going to be busy cooking our green beans and pasta, but when you can, just make sure that sauce isn't sticking at the bottom. And now it's got those beautiful meat flavours, and this is what we're going to serve with our spaghetti. It's going to be so good. So at this point I would say it's very important, get 2 other pots of pan on your stove, fill them up with water, get them boiling. For 1 for your green beans, 1 for your pasta. So you can see here already, I've got a pan of water here ready for my green beans. I'm just going to salt it generously. And then, you've got your prepped beans, haven't you guys? So just throw that in there and cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. So our beans have cooked. So, I'll put it on my spoon. Right, let me just tilt here. So in the meantime, you want to drain your beans, and then we're going to finish them off right at the end while our pasta is cooking to make sure it's all lovely and hot. But in the meantime, just drain your beans, and after we've drained our beans, we're going to cook our pasta. Pasta has cooked, it's drained. I'm putting it back in my pan. There we go. Now our pasta sauce, our tomato sauce is pretty much done. I've just got some fresh basil. Just going to tear it in there, mix it in, finish it off. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to add some of this beautiful sauce to our spaghetti in our pan, like this. Right. And that's it, guys. That is the whole meal. We have got spaghetti with tomato sauce. We've got meatballs and sausages that are going to get devoured with green beans. That is how the boys in Goodfellas would have eaten most Sundays. And I've got here now my bowl of spaghetti with tomato sauce with a sprinkle of parmesan, ready to be enjoyed. Now, it's been absolutely fantastic to be part of this week's Taste Film Friday Cookery Club. Goodfellas, like I said, is one of my favourite movies. So enjoy it tonight. I cannot wait to sit down with a glass of vino. I've watched it, I can't tell you how many times, but I never get bored. And on that note, before this gets cold, I'm going to go. So, ta-da, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
What happened? Tell me what happened. Well, he came in, you came in, I figured, you know, I'm so happy to see him. Look, go inside, make yourselves comfortable. I'll make you something to eat.